In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Black Desert Online. And if you're a casual player like me, there's definitely something in this game for you. So, let's get into it. I first came across Black Desert when it came onto consoles. I had never heard of it before, and from the very beginning, it was okay. I had started playing with a group of friends. Some of them had came from PC, and some of them were new to the game like me. I made a huge mistake when I started playing the game though. I was playing the game the way that my friends were telling me to play. It wouldn't be until much later that I found out that their playstyle really wasn't my playstyle. Everybody's got their own idea on what's entertaining, what's captivating in a video game, and this plays true to me as well. Now, there were aspects of the game that I couldn't wrap my head around, and it wouldn't be until much later that I realized you either love it or you hate it, but there are some things you have to accept, especially in an MMO. The key to me was, beyond all the things that I disliked, was to find those things that I truly enjoyed, and then just to focus on those, which I did, and after that, I was hooked. It was back in 2019 when I first started playing, and since then, I don't really play with anyone that I played with before. I mainly play solo, which isn't very common for MMOs, I know, but for my playstyle, it works out perfectly. I don't really need a group of friends to play when I play BDO. I consider myself a casual player because I have a full-time job working anywhere from 55 to 60 hours a week, and a family that I like to keep in touch with. So my range of hours that I can play in the game vary from maybe 1 or 2 hours a day to sometimes going a couple of days without being able to play at all. Now, do keep in mind that this is just my take. It's just my opinion and my feelings on the table here. One of the aspects that really drew me away from the game in the normal sense was enhancing. I cannot stand fail stacks. It just blows my mind that the best way to get ahead in the game is to fail at something. And they add things to that make it even more difficult as you progress into the higher enhancement levels. Thus, for my playstyle, I prefer to snipe things off the market, and to do that, you need a considerable amount of silver. Now, I am sure that there's a huge conversation that can be had on the different variations of collecting silver. There's many ways in the game to get silver, but I found the favorite for me is life skilling, specifically cooking and alchemy. I'll never forget purchasing my own residence, putting in my cooking and alchemy utensil, and just seeing the extremely large amount of recipes that you could create. And in the pursuit to become the most efficient cook or alchemist in the game, you have to learn so many other things, and it's just so intricate in the systems that you need to have at your disposal to make the most out of making silver on the market using cooking and alchemy. With that said, as a casual player, I don't really have a problem progressing in the game. I haven't really found an issue in getting what I want out of it, and the time that I do spend on it, I make the most of it. A few good critiques that I've seen shared around mostly all people that have played it or checked it out is the size of the map. This has one of the biggest maps I've ever seen in a game. I haven't timed it, but I would guess would take you more than 15 minutes of just straight travel time to go from one side of the map to the other. Plus, on top of that, the graphics are absolutely amazing. It is a beautiful, breathtaking world that really does feel alive in its own sense. Passing through the different areas, you can see the change where you know you've reached a different part of the map, from lush forests to dry, hot deserts to beautiful ocean venues. It's absolutely captivating. Another positive is the combat. Each character feels different in their own way. They have their own unique personality and style. And if you do have a group of friends that you want to play with, it's really fun to go and grind mobs, power up, and hit up a little PvP action, which is also very exciting. The one major issue I would have to say with casual players getting into the PvP scene would be to get to that higher tier of gear, to reach those higher gear scores. It does take a lot of grinding and a lot of enhancing. I'm in no way saying that it's impossible, but it does take a considerable amount of time. Another con, which I don't really feel personally is a big deal, but some people have cast a negative light on Pearl Abyss for this, is the extensive microtransactions implemented in the game. From inventory slots to how much weight you can carry at one time to the efficiency in whatever you do in the game, whether it be fighting or life skilling, there's a microtransaction for that. On top of that, most of the things that you can buy with real money, you can then put on the central market and sell to other players for silver. Now, normally this wouldn't be a big deal, except for the fact that all top tier end game highest stat gear can be purchased off the central market if someone has posted it. Thus, if you want to become the most powerful player in the game, all you simply have to do is throw your wallet at your monitor enough times and it's possible. This is why you hear stories of kids and adults spending thousands upon thousands of dollars, literally by themselves in a short amount of time, on the game in microtransactions. And while I stated earlier, it doesn't really affect me, I'm not really bothered by it because I don't play mainly PvP or any in-game tier activities, I could see why it would frustrate and upset other players, especially those that are deeply in the PvP scene. With all that said, even as a casual player, I have come to love the game, and I recently moved from console to PC, and I am currently working on reaching guru level cooking for my main character. And let it be known that I have been enjoying every aspect of the game while still only paying for the base price, which was $10. And that has rewarded me with hours and hours and hours of playtime. And since I don't get to play that often throughout the week, I've got a longer time to go than someone that, can dedicate 12 hours a day, 6 days a week to grinding on the game. Those people usually get burned out, I would presume, after a few weeks, while a casual player can get on this game, and with the extensive amount of all the things to do, it could take them months to get where they want to go, and they're still going to enjoy the game just as much as the hardcore player. It's just like that old saying goes, it's not the destination that you should look forward to, but the journey itself is what should be enjoyed. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're a casual player and thinking about getting into BDO, you should go for it. The community is very openly helpful, and of course you'll reach, your fair share of trolls here and there. You can always ask them for questions in the chat, and there's tons, I mean tons, of BDO YouTube videos, instructional and entertainment, that you can look up, and I highly recommend you do that. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will catch you in the next one.